my son, he's a mainstream student or whatever, right? And I
Right.
remember when he went to kindergarten, there was an assignment that he was given, and it was like 2 rows of children, and it was what he was supposed to do was pick what doesn't belong. And it might have been like they had on hats or something like that. I can't remember the assignment exactly, but I have it somewhere. And it was like, which one doesn't belong? So since it was 2 rows, I thought it would have been like on each row, there would have been like one different. Okay, so it's 6 different things, 2 different rows. And when you, and it was like, put a circle or X on something that doesn't belong. Everybody belonged except for the black boy, right? It was
Really?
everybody belonged except for the black boy in that assignment. I was
Wow.
like 2 through, and I actually pulled my son out of that class. I pulled him out of that school and put him somewhere else. And I don't
That
know
was
if
in a public school, Sandra?
he was in public school. He goes to a charter right now. And I actually
Okay.
pulled him out of that class. And I was just like, how is it that no one saw this assignment and found a problem with it, right? So I want to know, who is it that's responsible for ordering books, looking at the assignment? Do they review this stuff before they like start teaching? Because that's like that's that subtle, insidious racism, like, and it's worse than you just straight out telling somebody they don't belong. You're kind of like showing it without saying it. So I want to know, does the school board have anything to do with that? And if you guys have some sort of impact on who it is that's ordering the books and ordering the assignments that they're putting into school, if you can't, will you, how can that be addressed? Someone needs to review what it is that they're teaching these children.
Right. Well, that is very concerning. And, I've always said that when we look at the materials, when we look at the curriculum, we have to ensure that they are not biased and they don't have cultural and racial biases within them. And I think that it's important as a district, and I hope you did voice that concern to the district when you noticed that particular assignment. But I think that it's important that we are able to look at the materials and to take input from our parents as well, and to have an avenue to get those input. And we should seriously examine any kind of biases that we have within our textbooks or within the materials that we provide within public schools, and those should be removed. I think the school board can play a role in ensuring that we listen to the parents, and that we ensure that the departments within the district that does purchasing and that does the evaluating of these materials, that they're properly vetted to not have these kind of biases within them. So I can assure you that that's a concern that personally I would take up seriously. And I think parents of minorities should voice these concerns they have to any particular school board member representing their specific district, and make sure you're electing people who will actually advocate for changes in those underlying biases. So to answer that question, I think that I am sorry that you had to go through that experience.
I wasn't the only one, because everybody in that class, in the kindergarten class, had that assignment. I'm probably the only one that noticed it, but every kid in that class got that assignment, and they took it home. And I don't know if that was the first year, the only year that they did that, but that's an assignment that they have in the kindergarten class in that book.
And that came from a textbook, right?
Yeah, it was one of the handouts. I don't know that. It's one of those reading books or something like that they give them in kindergarten. But it was from the school. It was it was one of the assigned books in the school.
Right. I can assure you, Sandra, if that was brought to my attention as a school board member, I would do everything in my power to either have that book revised or we use a completely different material, because no kid should have to go through those kind of biases and be exposed to those kind of biases within our school district. So with those kind of issues, I think it's important that residents put those forward to their school board members, because your school board member represents you. And if there are offensive languages or offensive biases existing within our material, then it should be looked at seriously, and we should do everything we can to either replace or to make sure they revise those materials to be tolerant of all race and culture and don't have these implicit biases.
Okay.